He doesn't know what to do anymore. There's a closed door between them, and it seems the key is lost. What is there left to say? Their eyes don't meet. The air between them is heavy, a silence charged with years of unsaid words, unmet needs, and misread glances. She thinks, why do I have to do everything myself? Does he even see me anymore? He thinks, whatever I do, it's never enough. She's always annoyed. I don't even know what I did wrong. They've lived this fight 1,000 times. The deeper truth is left unspoken, waiting beneath resentment and misunderstanding. Carl Jung once wrote, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. This truth emerges vividly in love. We long for a special other, someone to heal what's broken, fulfill unmet needs, and complete us. Initially, we don't see our partner clearly. We see the projection of our inner desires, fears, and childhood wounds. We hope they will rescue us, be the missing piece. But projections shatter. Disappointment arrives, not because our partner failed, but because they couldn't carry what was never theirs to carry. Our partner isn't the savior, the mother, the father, the healer. They are a person with flaws, limitations, and their own wounds, just like us. Jung saw this painful moment not as a failure, but as an invitation to reclaim our projections, to see clearly, for the first time, the real, vulnerable human standing before us. She says, I handle everything. Meals, birthdays, appointments, feelings, and you never notice. He says, you constantly complain. Just tell me what you want, and I'll do it. What she's trying to say is, I need a partner, not another person to manage. What he's trying to say is, I want to be enough, but I feel like I always disappoint you. Beneath the surface, both struggle in shadow. He sees her as critical, controlling, mirroring his hidden insecurity about never feeling good enough. She feels unseen, carrying invisible burdens, repeating childhood patterns of neglect or over-responsibility. These are not fights about dishes or schedules. These conflicts emerge from shadow material, disowned feelings projected onto the partner. Jung said clearly, the most dangerous psychological mistake is projecting our shadow onto others. This is the root of nearly all conflicts. Recognizing this, we realize the other isn't causing our suffering, but revealing it. She says, I don't feel emotionally intimate anymore. He says, I feel physically rejected, like you don't want me to touch you anymore. She wants connection, to open. He wants closeness, to feel connected. The bed between them grows colder, wider. What looks like rejection may be exhaustion. What looks like pressure may be a cry for reassurance. This tension is paradoxical. Both want connection, but approach it differently. Love is not just harmony, it's also painful contradiction. We seek closeness, yet fear true intimacy, terrified of being fully seen. Love heals and wounds us. It draws out our deepest longing and our deepest fear. Love isn't solved rationally, it's lived as a mystery. Our intimacy issues are less about sexual desire and more about vulnerability, trust, and wounds of acceptance. Most couples think they're fighting about something in the present, but often they're replaying the past and childhood pain. A partner's silence echoes a parent who never listened. A raised voice reopens wounds of harsh childhood judgment. In his book, The Development of Personality, Jung shows how our early emotional worlds shape how we receive love today. We don't choose partners randomly. Unconsciously, we seek the familiar, even when the familiar hurts. Someone neglected as a child may unconsciously select distant partners, hoping this time love might redeem the original pain. These unconscious choices repeat our wounds until we consciously recognize these patterns and choose differently. Jung doesn't encourage blame, but awareness and action. Becoming conscious of our patterns transforms reaction into mature, adult response. Jung likened relationships to alchemy, not because they're magical, but because when they're real, both substances transform through the heat of interaction and tension. Conflict isn't the enemy, it's the alchemical heat that purifies, that reveals what lies beneath, that burns away what no longer serves us. Every argument is an invitation. Beneath anger lies fear. Small quarrels about household tasks are symbolic. Fights over chores often represent deeper needs for respect or validation. Jung calls us to honor conflict, not to win or lose, but to listen closely. When we ask, what's really surfacing here? What in me is asking to be seen or healed? What am I unconsciously projecting or replaying from my past? We transform conflict from destructive to transformative. When we treat conflict as sacred and not a curse of fate, it becomes a crucible for growth. Here are several tools for nurturing more conscious and healthy relationships. Withdraw your projections. Recognize your partner as a mirror. Regularly reflect. What am I expecting my partner to fulfill that I must address within myself? Notice when your partner seems exaggeratedly critical or angry. Try and see if it's your own shadow reflected back. Notice your regression. Conflicts often cause emotional regression, returning to childlike emotional states. When you feel emotional turmoil, pause and ask, how old do I feel right now? What emotional wound is surfacing? Communicate clearly. I feel unseen, and it reminds me of my childhood. Can you listen to my pain right now and support me? Once you notice you're regressing, pause and take space to reconnect with your adult self before trying to communicate with your partner. Communication from a regressed state is almost always destructive. Recognize unconscious patterns. Become aware of relational cycles as codependency, relying on your partner for validation. Rescue victim loops, where you're repeatedly trying to fix each other. Abandonment and avoidance, chasing or withdrawing when scared. In moments of conflict, pause and ask, which role am I assuming? What fear drives me to behave this way? Communicate the deeper truth. With courage, move beyond accusations to vulnerability. Instead of saying, you never help, you might say, I feel alone and I want to feel supported. Turn you always nag into I'm afraid of disappointing you. Articulating these hidden fears invites intimacy instead of defensiveness. Integrate shadow work into daily life. Regular journaling or therapy can bring shadow parts to light. Jung encourages confronting our shadow directly because awareness prevents unconscious acting out. Regularly reflect, Is my reaction proportional, or am I influenced by something deeper? What aspect of myself do I see reflected in my partner right now? These practices don't eliminate tension, but they have the power to transform it into healing and growth. Relationships aren't meant solely for happiness. Jung believed they're here to make us conscious and transform into more whole beings. Love calls us toward discomfort, to the edges of our understanding. Although sometimes it might feel like it, your partner isn't here to frustrate you, but to show you hidden parts of yourself. Love brings shadow to the surface, not to harm, but to heal, to turn toward the places we'd rather avoid, to love not only the easy parts, but the difficult ones too, ours and theirs. So next time the old fight returns, pause and breathe deeply. Listen, ask gently, what's really happening within me? What old wound or unmet need is surfacing? Let love's conflict become your teacher. Remember Jung's words, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate. Your relationship is an alchemical vessel. Allow it to reveal your shadows, reclaim your projections, and guide you toward wholeness. And remember, you are not alone in this work. It is a sacred, meaningful, and never-ending task. I wish all of us courage and consciousness.